Good morning, everybody. It is a finally Friday, and I'm Chris Allen here on the Sam channel, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X, all sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace. It is Friday, January the 3rd. We've got a winter storm situation that is taking shape and looks to have some significance even here in southern Kentucky. So hang on. Not sure how long this is going to go, but it could go a little lengthy just because there's a lot to talk about. Okay, first and foremost, let's take a look at the here and now, which is 7:38 a.m. Central Time this morning, and a live look from the Plano cam from my home studio in Plano, Kentucky, just outside of the city limits of Bowling Green. You can see the breeze blowing this morning. We're getting a northwest breeze at 15 to 20. And so it's adding a little stiffness to the air, it's a little brisk at times. But you see that little clipper system that came through last night is departing the area. And we're starting to see a break in the clouds, allowing some morning sunshine to come through. And that's going to be what we see for the rest of the day. Sunshine. Once we get rid of some of these clouds left over in the wake of that disturbance this morning. So some of you did see a few flurries. Others saw a few little light raindrops. It didn't get cold enough really to be any big deal as far as, snow. I mean, there was some off to the north of us, but that was about the extent of it. Otherwise, this thing just came through and wasn't much of a big deal. Okay, here we go to the radar. And I'm going to sit on this radar for a moment because on this particular platform, I can go and use different things, different forms, different layers that I can display for you. So I'll blow this up as big as I can and show you what's going on with this. So we're going to spend a little time here. So here's Bowling Green. I've got it on the Nashville reflectivity on the radar. There's just not a whole lot going on. You can see some remnant stuff that's just kind of right there, just leftovers, and all of that is moving away as we go through the morning, and that will continue to be the case. Now, the satellite view this morning is showing some of these leftover clouds. You can see those here in wake of that disturbance, and all clouds are beginning to move out as well. They will continue to push off to the south and east away from our area. So I think we will see some sunshine today, although at times it could be limited or partly sunny with breaks in the cloud cover. But this disturbance is now to the east of us, about like that, over in eastern Kentucky, and it's moving away. And now we wait on the next system to come in. So what's happening right now is that we have the drier air taking over. Let me go back here to, I don't want to show this yet. So over the next, let me show you this first though. This is today. Impact, winter weather impact. This is a new product that was introduced last year by the National Weather Service. It shows just a minor impact of any kind of light snow going on from Lexington into parts of eastern Kentucky. But at the most, we're talking about a light coating, maybe on some back roads and things like that, but not much else is going on. That's with the system that's coming through today. But now let's move ahead. Let's go into tomorrow. Winter weather impact, nothing. Tomorrow is going to be a sunny day. We're going to see highs, though, only in the mid-30s, and that's really a big deal because temperatures are not going to get any warmer in the coming days. And here you see the incoming storm system with weather impacts starting tomorrow, Saturday, uh, back to the west as far as Kansas City, moving into the St. Louis area. But let's jump ahead to day 3, which is Sunday, and look what a mess. Now, this is showing that there's going to be significant impact on roads, bridges, maybe even power lines and such off to the north of us from really right along Interstate 64, St. Louis, Mount Vernon, Evansville, Louisville. Those seem to be where the highest impact is going to be, therefore the deep red that you see. Now, further south, here's Bowling Green. We're going to be right on the line of the impacts that are minor to moderate. And there's some of that orange there that you see just below the red area. That's a moderate risk of impact to roads and power grids. Now, the prolonged period of ice that we're looking at seems to be shunted a little bit further north than what we were looking at earlier, which means we may not get the worst of the ice here. We're going to get some, I do believe, even down into middle Tennessee. And really, if you just get a little bit of ice, it's still going to be an issue. So that is the concern that we have right now. Let me show you this, which is the freezing rain forecast. So as you can see where the bullseye is going to be, it is a bit further north, but notice that it still comes down into the southern Kentucky, especially, let's just say from the Tennessee line northward. That's where the best setup for an icy, snowy, rainy mix is going to happen. But it's this darker green area, which we're a little more concerned that we're going to see some accumulating ice. In fact, up here on the scale, it says moderate. If you can see that at the top of your screen, the green is indicating a moderate. This is a slight risk for accumulating ice, which does include the Bowling Green area. So this will begin Saturday night, late to the west, about the Mississippi River, and then progress into Sunday morning, possibly starting as snow. So this is Saturday. I don't know if I can draw. Okay. There's SA for Saturday. Here's SU for Sunday, and then on into Monday, further east. So there's sort of a broad brush timeline as to when we're going to start to see some of the icing take place. But I still believe this storm is going to start with snow Sunday morning, then flip over to a snow, freezing rain, sleet mix, depending on temperature from just above us to just below and on the surface. The surface temperatures will have everything to do with what we're looking at as far as how this parses out. So just to give you an idea of what to expect, it does appear now that the iciest areas, or the better areas of getting accumulating ice, are going to be further north of the parkways, about like that. Not necessarily the Bowling Green area, but north of that. But if you're up around Litchfield, Madisonville, E-Town, all the way up the Parkway, the Bluegrass Parkway up to Lexington, that's where you're likely to get more of an accumulating coating of ice, maybe a quarter inch. As this says up here, freezing rain. That would also involve some sleet. And, any kind of, if it's transitions over to rain, which I think it will for a while, that's going to cut down on any kind of freezing rain or sleet accumulation or snow accumulation. The focus a lot of these times is on snow, but that's not really, I don't think that's going to be too big of a concern for us here in southern Kentucky. In fact, let's take a look at the snow predictions here. Over 4 inches of snow. As you can see, that line is way off to the north. Way off to the north. Here, we could see just little flurries mixed in. Here's today. Let me go back. Make sure we're on the right days here. This is today. There's the Clipper system. Okay, so that's gone. Here's tomorrow. You can see that system trying to work in with some of the snow off to the north and west. And then this is Sunday. Snowfall of greater than 4 inches. That's what this is showing here. So with that, everything's going to stay again along that I-64 corridor north as far as any kind of accumulating snow. For us in southern Kentucky, occasional snow mixed in at times at the beginning on Sunday morning and then at the end by Monday afternoon. That's how it looks at this point. So everything is pretty much on target with what we've been looking at over the last several days. Let's look at, let's see here. Okay, I've done the impacts. Snow amount we can't show until we actually get some snow. But as far as some of the warnings, there's even down south of us now, there's even going to be thunderstorms. Here's today, here's tomorrow, and here's Sunday. They may see, a mix of thunder and that wintry mix. Sorry about that. I kept drawing. Hello. Turn off. It's not wanting me to. There we go. So this is a marginal risk. As you see there, West Tennessee, a little sliver of far southwestern Kentucky. All of this out here is just general thunderstorm risk. Believe it or not, there is a little bit of possibility that we could hear some thunder with some of the freezing rain or sleet that's coming down. When there's this little warm nose of air warm air that's going to come in over southern Kentucky. And with that, there could be the possibility of seeing or hearing a rumble of thunder. Thunder snow, it's a possibility, but it's, I know somebody's already like, oh, thunder snow. No, it's not going to be that. Okay. So it's just one of those situations that's very odd. The dynamics with this system is going to make it so that, yeah, somebody's probably going to say, hey, I just heard thunder and it's snowing. So there's that possibility. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, because it could happen very, very well. Could happen. Okay, let me get out of this and let's go to watches and warnings. And notice that we're still not under any kind of a watch here in southern Kentucky, although that may be expanded. This is a winter storm watch, and here's all the information it actually goes into effect late Saturday night, late tomorrow night through Monday afternoon. That's where a wintry mix of snow, sleet, freezing rain is expected from early Sunday through Monday afternoon. Snow and sleet amounts of greater than 4 inches. I showed you that line off to the north. And significant ice accumulations of greater than a quarter inch are possible in that area. Since it doesn't appear that it's going to happen in the Bowling Green area, that's why we're not currently under any kind of winter storm watch or advisory or any of that. But we could be put under something that's called a winter weather advisory or some type of thing, or the watch could be extended further south if this thing shows a bit of a wobble to the south. So keep that in mind. The greatest snow amounts are expected in southern Indiana, and the most significant ice amounts are expected in north central Kentucky. Again, let's just say the I-64 corridor. That is going to be the target zone. Late Saturday night through Monday afternoon, travel is expected to become slick and hazardous, and tree and power line damage is possible. Power outages will be possible depending on how much ice there's going to be, and there's going to be wind, some wind with this. So again, the target zone is the I-64 corridor. South of that, less of a threat of getting accumulating ice or travel issues. Along and north of that is where the worst of the weather is going to be. We have several winter weather advice. All this is a winter storm watch. Here is a new winter storm watch that has been issued, plus a special weather statement, and that's for the little clipper system that's coming through this morning for parts of the Lexington area down to E-Town, and then on up to Salem, Indiana, Versailles, and then toward Cincinnati. And then over in eastern Kentucky, special weather statement is there, and that's in wake of the little clipper system that's passing through this morning. That will go away. Now, how this winter storm watch and all of that will flex and change remains to be seen. There is a conference call that I'll be on later this afternoon with the National Weather Service to see how this is going to shape up. Okay? So there's that. Let me turn that off. Let's go back to, let me see what I want to go. Satellite I've already done. There's a look at the satellite. Outlooks. So I think I've got everything covered there. Okay. So now that I've shown you all of that, I want to go next to the information that's come from the Weather Service. Let me get that called up here. And this is the information that the Weather Service has put out this morning to update everyone on what to expect. So here you see the information laid out, kind of what I was just showing you, as far as how this is going to go. You see, again, there's the I-64 corridor. That is where some of the worst weather, ice and snow in that kind of magenta color there. Let's go as far south as maybe Litchfield, maybe Beaver Dam, Hartford, Hodgenville. You may even Munfordville in Hart County. It's a possibility. Campbellsville, right on the line. But remember, weather doesn't follow straight lines. So everything is drawn in a straight line here, but just it kind of broad brush that out. Anybody could get any of these that you see here at the bottom: snow, ice and rain, or a mix to rain. Now that's most likely what's going to happen in the Bowling Green, Southern Kentucky area as we get into Sunday and Monday. So you see that it's going to be a variety of things, but any of this could wobble just a little bit with the movement of the low pressure system, which is poised to come right across the Kentucky-Tennessee border. And because of that, we'll be getting warm air for a while. And then as the low passes, we'll start to get cold air on the backside of it. And that's when we could see more snow mixed in instead of just rain or ice. So the timing here, Sunday morning through Monday midday, wintry mix for all of this entire state of Kentucky. Mostly snow to the north. Storm track is still uncertain, so that you need to understand is still, even with the short-term models now coming into play, the exact track is still uncertain, but it does look like that low is going to track right across the Kentucky-Tennessee border. And because of that placement, that's why we're likely to see more of a mix of precipitation. I don't think it's going to be all rain, but there will be a period when it's just rain. But it could be freezing rain if surface temperatures are below freezing. And that's the thing that we've got to watch for. Confidence is high that it's going to happen. In other words, confidence is pretty high. And even now the placement of all of these different precipitation types. All right. So here again is the winter storm watch. Lowest confidence is, as you see right there, in the southern tip of where the watch area is. And they've put that there because we're exactly on the fringe of this being a big issue to not an issue. But if this thing moves a little bit further south than what we're thinking, then all of this winter storm watch could be moved further south to include all of the Bowling Green, Southern Kentucky area. So don't be surprised if that happens. Otherwise, I think for us, they will put in, the closer we get to tomorrow, they'll put in a winter weather advisory or something like that. That's a step down from a winter storm watch. But in any case, I would still have a backup plan for heat, and know that electricity could go out, especially if you live up along the parkways. And again, I'm mentioning Central City, Greenville, to Hartford Beaver Dam, to Litchfield, to E-Town. In that general area, I think you could see enough icing to knock out power, or to have a tree branch come down and cut your power lines and things like that. So I would still have a plan, even though you're on the southern kind of edge of this winter storm watch. So higher confidence in a major winter storm, Sunday and Monday. Uncertainty remains for specific precipitation types and amounts. And they're going to do another update 4 p.m. Eastern, so that's 3 p.m. Central. We're going to have a conference call, as I mentioned, with the National Weather Service about 1:30 or so this afternoon. And from that, I'll know a little bit more. And they'll update these maps too, if they need to. So here's the impact, the likelihood of impact on you from the winter storm. I showed you the moderate overall winter storm impacts to the north, less to the south. That's one of the first things I showed you. Likelihood of impact here is 10 to 20%. Ice accumulation, hardly anything to maybe 5 to 10% in our northern counties, maybe closer to 20 as you get up toward the parkways, especially the Western Kentucky Parkway. Like I said, if you're in those areas from Beaver Dam, Hartford, Central City, Greenville, to Litchfield, Clarkson, and then up to E-Town, that is where you stand a greater chance of getting some ice accumulation out of this system. Timing, I showed you that too, but again, I'll go over this, that here we are in Southern Kentucky, rain Sunday morning, but I think it could be rain and snow mixed. Then as we go into Sunday afternoon and evening, into Sunday overnight, sleet with ice pellets mixed in. Monday morning, it looks like less of a threat of a wintry mix, and then it just kind of all fizzles out by Monday afternoon. So again, like I said yesterday, if you watched this, if I were a deacon, elder, pastor of your church, I would be thinking about what if you need to call off services, because that's a real possibility. If we start hearing about power outages or road conditions being bad Sunday morning, then that could be a problem. Definitely Sunday evening. If you have Sunday evening services, that's probably going to be a no-go for many locations, especially north of Bowling Green. We may be okay here in Bowling Green, but it's going to be a close call. Then after the storm, as we've been talking about, the bitter cold, coldest air of the season, the winter season, with single-digit and sub-zero temperatures possible in some locations, as you see here off to, say, places like Bardstown. That's going to be an issue. Look at these single digits Thursday. So after this storm passes, we're going to get much colder. Even here in Bowling Green, we're going to go from the 20s into the teens, into the mid-teens, into Thursday morning, upper teens on Friday, which means the locations that do pick up precipitation are most likely going to keep it around for the middle and end of next week with this bitter cold. And that's why I'm cautioning everyone to have some type of alternative heat source, just in case you lose power, because it's going to get bitterly cold, frigid temperatures after that. Parts of southern Indiana may drop slightly below zero on Wednesday night. Daytime temperatures will remain below freezing, below 32 degrees during that time. So after this storm leaves, this is what we're going to get. Very cold air. For planning purposes, and this is why we do what we do, because we want you to be prepared and know that there's going to be interruptions of some sort. Even here in Bowling Green and southern Kentucky, there's going to be, it may be limited here, it may not be that big of an interruption, but there's going to be interruptions in your routine. So here we are today. This is today, all right, which is still a few days out from Sunday. Emergency supplies for your home and car, keep things in there like blankets and maybe some non-perishable foods, especially if you live north where the icing may take place. Your car may be someplace that you have to take shelter and stay warm if you don't have any other sources. Make sure your car is full of gas so you don't have to worry about having to fill up while this is going on or after. Check your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors, and here it says replenish fuel for your car and your heating sources. So if you're using propane and you need to call your propane company to come out, refill your tank or whatever, you better get that done today. Here's tomorrow, Saturday. Adjust your plans as necessary, because some of this could change. It still could change. We still could have a flex further north or further south. If it decides to go further south, we're in trouble in Bowling Green and southern Kentucky. Then we would get more icing. I'm not worried about the snow. I'm really not concerned about snow. That's not going to be a big deal here at all. It is going to be the ice that we need to be concerned about. So adjust your plans tomorrow. Have multiple ways to receive warnings. Download the News40 Weather App. I've got the QR code, which I'll go back to here in a second. You'll be able to do that with your phone. Have a weather radio, or have some way of just keeping up with the weather. And frankly, personally, I could sit here and promote News40 all day, but whatever source you trust, just do it. Okay. I'd rather, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, yeah, I want to promote us, but if you've got a source you feel like you trust better than me or better than News40, then do it. It's America. You do you. I say that all the time, but please just do it. Bring pets indoors, ensure they have water. And then during and after the storm, Sunday and Monday, this is going to be important. Check on your neighbors, your family. Ventilate emergency heat sources. Do not bring a generator indoors unless it's battery operated. If you've got a generator that's gas powered, or it's got a motor on it, do not bring that inside. Do not. Keep generators, here we go, at least 20 feet away from your home, and don't go to shoveling or doing all that stuff if you're not physically up for it. Okay. So that's a lot of stuff there. And so I just wanted to make sure that you understood the severity of this system, the potential severity. Is this going to change much? Probably at this point, it's only going to change a little. Like I said, there's still time for the short term. Now we're starting to get into the short term model window, and we're going to get the finer details of how this thing is going to play out now, today, tonight, and tomorrow. So there may be some adjustments to what I just showed you in that regard with the forecast and how this thing is going to play out and where it's going to play out and the timing and the precipitation type. These things are very, very difficult to forecast because a change of the track of the low, or a minor change of 1 or 2 degrees up or down in temperature above us and on the ground, any change in that can change everything from the precipitation type to how much you're going to get or what's going to be what. So that's why I cannot specifically, for those of you asking in the chat room about cities, I can't do that. I would be here all day. Just prepare for the worst and let's hope for the best. I've given you all the tools you need to prepare. The rest is up to you. So you need to just take heed to this and just do what you can with what you have to prepare, and make sure your neighbors are taken care of, your family's taken care of, your pets are taken care of. And then we're just going to ride this thing out. But it's going to be Sunday, Monday. Those 2 days is going to be all of this mess. And it's not going to, it's not going to linger longer than that. The only problem that I see is that whatever precipitation we do get, even if it's just rain, it is going to get so cold after that falls that it's going to freeze over, and there's going to be impact on roads. There's going to be impact on power grids and things like that. I mean, it's almost a given that that's going to happen no matter where you are. So I would prepare for that. Do the best you can. So, again, thank you. I've gone 35 minutes. I knew it would be long. Now, Darius has updated everything on WNKY.com. this morning with all of that, with all of what he's been looking at. Let me get rid of this here. Okay. Now there is the QR code. You see it. I'm pointing the wrong way right there. That's the QR code to download the News40 Weather App, and everything is staying updated there. And really everything you need to know is there, with our video updates, with any kind of warnings or advisories that do come out. If something changes, it's going to be there on the app. And I've got it on my phone, and I've got it right here where you can see everything. After that, there you see it's got radar, it's got the forecast, it's got the weather blog, it's got the latest information. Look at that handsome guy right there doing the weather at 5, 6, and 10 on News 40. Everything is right here, and you can set it up so that where you live, let's say you live in, let's choose Grayson County, because that's one of the places where I think there could be some issues. If you live in Grayson County, you can go into the News 40 Weather App and choose to only receive warnings, advisories, watches, all of that for Grayson County. That includes school closings. Now, most of the schools today send out everything via text, or you get an email, or they've got some system set up, which is fantastic because that means we don't necessarily have to do it all like we used to manually. It's all done electronically now, which is fantastic. But in the same way you get those alerts from your school, you will get alerts from us through the News 40 Weather App. It'll pop up and say winter storm watch, winter storm warning, winter weather advisory, all those. And the same thing as like during the warmer months, severe thunderstorm watch, warning, tornado warning, blah, blah, blah. All of that for just Grayson County will show up. If you're in Grayson County, it knows your location because your phone has a GPS. It knows where you are, and it will follow you, which is incredible. The technology will follow you. If you go into Hardin County, it's going to know you're in Hardin County, and it will adjust the radar to where you are in Hardin County instead of Grayson County, and alert you to what's going on there. And it doesn't matter where you are in the United States, it will follow you. So I would advise you to download the News 40 Weather App. All you got to do is hold your phone up to it, like that, and a little thing will come up in your camera. Open up your camera, point it to that QR code, and a link will come up where you can download the News 40 Weather App. If you have an Android device or an Apple device, it doesn't matter. Either one. Okay, now I've gone 38 minutes. Okay, so just be prepared. I'll do this conference call with the weather service this afternoon, and then I'll come back on tonight at 5, 6, and 10 at News 40 with an update like this one. Not as long, though. It'll be about 3 minutes instead of 38. But I'll have the latest on what's going on. In the meantime, God bless you. Thank you for trusting me with your weather information and to bring that to you. God bless you and have a great day.